Hey everyone, this is Richard, CEO of altFINS. In this video, I will cover the interest rate cut by the US Central Bank that occurred yesterday and look at the state of the market, crypto market overall. What are the overall trends and whether we're seeing a potential bullish trend reversal. As you know, the market has been in a downtrend since April. It's been a long 5, 6 months, but there are some bullish signs that we have reached and maybe even turned the corner. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, after 4 years, the Fed has finally cut interest rates, and they cut them by half a percentage point. Let's take a look. Right here, as you can see, this chart goes back even, let's go back 5 years here, when the Fed went from basically zero interest rates post-COVID and started hiking the rates just steadily in 2022, 2023, from really zero to as much as 5.5%, right? And that was to slow the inflation down. And now the inflation has slowed to close to 2% a year, which is the Fed's target. And the Fed now, yesterday, cut the interest rates finally after 4 years of no movement and hiking to finally now, in the long pause, to now beginning to reduce the interest rates. And so typically lower interest rates are positive for valuations of assets in general, particularly of positive for risk assets, which are equities like tech stocks, and certainly cryptocurrencies, right? So it goes to reason that with lower interest rates, we should see some increase in valuations of assets such as crypto. And this is likely just the beginning, first cut of potentially many. In fact, already for the November Fed meeting, the expectations are 65% chance of another 25 basis point cut, or 0.25% cut, and a 35% chance of even a bigger or 50 basis point cut. So clearly in November, we're likely to get another cut in interest rates. Whether it's 25 basis points or 50 basis points, we'll see as we approach it. But there's expectations of further cuts in interest rates this year and next year as well. So I do think that there is a good chance that this could spark a rally in assets in general, but particularly in crypto assets, because they've been in a doghouse, in the last 6 months or so, like I said, since April. The equities, if we look at the S&P 500, for example, has actually already been and steadily rising and been rising and really is at all-time highs currently. And that goes for other indexes such as NASDAQ and Dow Jones. But crypto is far from all-time highs. Let's take a look. So here we are. Bitcoin is up 2% today, but there was some anticipation of this Fed rate decision boosting the performance. And so we've seen actually in the last week a 10% increase in Bitcoin, and some of the other altcoins have performed well as well. But really, 6-month performance, like I said, we saw sort of the recent peak was reached in April. Let's take a look at maybe even Solana. All right, so here we are. We had a really nice run in Solana and other assets as well in the first quarter and the first beginning of the year. And then it really peaked, like I said, sometime in April, and then it's been kind of down ever since. And this type of chart is visible in other assets as well, right? And so really in the last 6 months, if we look at the performance of most assets, even Ethereum is down 30%, Solana 30% down, Some exceptions, Toncoin, TRX have been exceptional, but Cardano down 50, 60%, and so on and so forth. So the average altcoin, I think, is down 50 to 70% since April. So we've got a long ways in terms of potential upside, right? If these rate cuts do carry through and continue, I want to also take a look at how far we are from all-time highs. Okay, you can add that field to the table here. It says down from all-time highs. Since the equity market is at all-time highs right now, let's take a look at how far we are in the crypto markets from all-time highs. So Bitcoin is about 15% or 14% away from all-time highs. Ethereum is still down 50% from all-time highs back in 2001, I believe. So, and all the other assets are, pretty far, most of them are pretty far from all-time highs, right? So we've got a lot of upside here. Now, if we look at the price action in the last really couple of months or a month and a half, there's already been some bullish signs of trend reversal. Maybe it's too early, it could be, but we're seeing some positive signs. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and find all those assets that have had a trend rating upgrade. So we'll go to MA trends and let's focus on the medium trend that I like to focus on, and says, okay, the medium trend is up right now and it was recently upgraded. Okay, let's see, out of the 3,000 assets, about 270 have recently been upgraded to a medium trend uptrend. Okay, and we can now go to the trend tab here, and you can see here, I'll also actually remove stable coins from the list. So coin type is just going to be regular coins. Okay. All right, as you can see, the medium trend is up, okay, for all of these. And one more thing I'm going to add to this table is an indication of what was the trend change. Okay, so the trend was upgraded from neutral to up for Caspa, from neutral to up for Fetch, from up to strong for Monero, and so on. So, okay, so this way you can also see where the trend was and is now. What was the up trend change or trend upgrade from to. So, a decent number of assets have seen an upgrade in their trend rating based on the altFINS trend rating system. In addition to that, let's take a look at a few assets have particularly. So we've seen a lot of bullish breakouts from falling wedge and channel down pattern. Let's take a look at that as well. So you can find some of those in our technical analysis section. And let's highlight, for example, Phantom. All right, as you can see, this asset is also down from April's high of $1.20 as low as 30 cents, right? So it went down by 80%, almost 75%. But recently, since the low of April, on April 5th was kind of when the market really hit the low. And since then, we saw this asset break out of the falling wedge pattern, and then it pulled back, but made a higher low and broke back out, and now is making higher lows and higher highs, clearly a sign of uptrend. So this is one that's up 60% since the breakout from falling wedge pattern, and there's a few other examples I want to show you, but all of them have the common sort of theme that they have broken out. Let's take a look at SUI, broken out of channel down or falling wedge pattern. These patterns tend to occur in a downtrend, but when there is a change in the trend and we see that or break out of the pattern, then there typically is a change in the trend. All right, so this one, SUI also went from 220 to as low as 50 cents, and now it's had a breakout from falling wedge, and it's up. I believe this is about also almost 60% increase. So call it from 80 cents to $1.40 or so. So another one that made a higher high, higher low, higher high. So clearly, and it's broken above the 200-day moving average. So it's also an indication of an uptrend resuming, right? So another one that I recall, I believe, was TIA. Let's find TIA, Celestia. Also had a nice bullish breakout from the channel down. I mean, this is, following wedge pattern, that extended all the way from April. It just was making lower lows, lower highs, and so on until it's, it looks like it's had a breakout here at around $4. Now it's at $5.40, and so it's a, it's a decent 40-50% or 40% upside gain so far. It's broken above the resistance zone of $5 now. So another one that appears to be indicating a bullish trend reversal. This one's still early, but there are a number of assets that are listed here have shown similar sort of pattern breakouts and bullish indications. So the market is potentially indicating that we've already hit the bottom on August 5th, frankly, and that with the Fed rate cuts that have taken place yesterday and are ahead of us in November and next year, could continue to push these asset valuations higher. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that, short and sweet. If you have any questions, email us at invest@altfins.com. And please keep in mind that this video was for informational purposes only, not meant to be financial advice, and do your own research. Good luck trading.